everyone, I'm Sandie La Nae. Welcome to Psychic Creations. As you can see, we are on location at our book signing today for our for our Weird Carson City book. And we are at Artsy Fartsy, which is at 220 West Telegraph Street. We have an interesting show for you today, so well, just keep watching and have a lot of fun, as we are too. Thank you for joining in. On September 6, 2016, Arlene LaFerry and I celebrated our newly published book, Weird Carson City, with a book signing at Artsy Fartsy Art Gallery located in Carson City. The owner of the art gallery is a wonderful person, Jeffery. We universally thank Jeffery for the generous offer for us to use the gallery's courtyard for our event. We had great fun this day, and lots of fun things were included. Outside of selling our new book, we also presented a PowerPoint program where we spoke about a few chapters and a few interesting pieces of information that are written in the book. We had refreshments and a sign-in sheet for greetings and visitors' signatures. We had a raffle with awesome donations. The proceeds went to Kathmandu, a sanctuary for homeless cats in Carson City, and we also had a container for Shoes for Shelter, a safe haven rescue kennel for dogs in Yerington and surrounding areas. We had a guest author, Mary Randall. She writes children's adventure books. We had a guest speaker, Diane Di Hansen. She spoke of the haunted house she lives in, which the house is written about in our book. We had fabulous music performed by Ophir. The men are Keith Shale and Brian Unruh. Arlene and I had fun seeing friends, meeting new people, and autographing our books for those purchased.
Pick the prize off the raffle table for what they want, I suppose.
Sure,
and we'll
whatever
just work
they
our
want.
way on down.
Okay, alrighty.
If you don't pick my name, it's rigged.
It's rigged.
I'm just saying.
Okay.
Lori! Yeah, totally rigged.
Yay, totally.
Totally rigged. Oops. I should have left that one out. Okay, go again, honey.
Another one, let's see.
So, Lori, honey, you get to pick any gift off the raffle table you want.
Who's that?
Artsy Fartsy! Woo! Jeffrey's number 2.
Now it's not rigged.
Now it's not rigged at all, okay?
Thank you. Thank you, and please enjoy.
Oh, no,
It appears that those who won the raffle prizes were very pleased with their items. Introduce you to our guest author today, Mary Randall, and she's going to tell you all about how she got interested in writing her fabulous children's adventure books. You've got the floor.
All right, thank you, Sandy.
You're welcome.
Okay, hi. My name is Mary Randall. I'm a children's adventure author, and how I got started writing was my husband and I, Alan, we used to be into outdoor sports, like wilderness sports. We started out with snowmobiling with the different resorts all around Lake Tahoe, and dog sledding and things like that. And I used to write articles about our adventures on snowmobiles and dog sledding. With the Nevada Appeal, it was called The Great Outdoors, or Go. This was like winter of 2006 and 2007. And we go on these adventures with these guys way out in the wilderness area. It was the best time ever. It was so much fun. And so I'd write about this, and they'd put the articles in the Nevada Appeal so other families and people would know about all the really cool adventures that go on out there in case they didn't know about it, because it was a lot of fun. So I did that for a few months, and then my mom was the one that mentioned to me that I should write children's adventure books, that I'd be really good at it because I have a wild imagination. And when I was growing up in the hills of Fairfax in Northern California, I used to let my imagination go wild, and with all the kids that I grew up with, I would tell all these wild stories to them, and they would just love to hear about it and just love the stories. And so I had the greatest childhood up there. So then my mom mentioned that to me. So one summer, when Alan and I were camping down the bluffs on the ocean down by San Diego, I started writing the first story, A Walk Through the Woods. And I just kind of let my imagination go wild. The main character is Bobby with his lucky baseball cap. And so it starts out in Kentucky with all these talking animals and ghosts of Indians, spirits of the Civil War and these different caves. And there's there's spirits of ghosts of Indians and the ghosts of the Civil War, and there's treasures and all kinds of really cool stuff that goes on in there. And the talking wild animals, and this man that oversees these caves in Kentucky are leading Bobby on his journey to make an important change in the 21st century to help all of mankind, children, and animals. So it starts out in the first book, A Walk Through the Woods in Kentucky, and then it goes from there to the next book, Fire in the Tail, in Australia, on the, like you should say, it's the east coast of Australia in Queensland. It starts out there with these different creatures in this one area, and it's a steady climb of adventure where Bobby's also led by these Aussie talking animals, and there's this creature in there, it's half kangaroo and half dragon, and his name is the kids call him Jalalapop, and the Aborigines call him Wairuru. But he leads Bobby on the same journey to find out what his quest is going to be to make this important change. And there's the villains that come over from the United States. They're kind of like a Chinese gang, and they are after this billabong in northern Queensland, because it has some really good magical powers in this billabong that can do good things for people, but they want to try to take over the billabong, not for good, but for bad things. And so Bobby and his new friends that he makes, new kid friends that he makes friends with in Australia, and the Aborigines have to fight off these gangs that come over from the United States to keep them from doing bad things with this billabong. So that's what happens in Australia, Fire in the Tail. And then from there they go to northeastern Siberia in Russia, and this third book is called Red River and the Tree of Enlightenment, and it brings all three stories together. And there they encounter some really wild creatures over there that are trying to take over kids' minds and everything, children's minds, and make them into almost like robots where they don't have wills of their own. So Bobby and his friends over in Russia go in and save these kids and bring them out of there from these dark creatures and bring them to a place where all good happens, and then they're become deprogrammed from all the stunts that happen on the dark side. Now they're on the good side over there in northeastern Siberia. So there Bobby completes his quest to put things right in the 21st century with these children, how he brings them all together and gets them away from the dark creatures on the dark side and over to the good side, where they're deprogrammed and made to understand what it's like to be able to use your imagination and create things that can make an important change in the 21st century. And it's just there's really cool, all three stories, the third one brings all three stories together, and you find out, of course, what Bobby's final destiny is to make a change in the 21st century. So I just hope that all the kids that have read the stories so far are just go nuts over them, and even the adults and grown-ups like them just as well as the kids do. So that's what makes me really happy. That's what does it for me, that the kids and the adults really like these stories. And so that was the trilogy series for ages 6 years old to 13-year-old. And so the next book, the next series I'm going to be doing is for toddlers ages 0 to 5-year-olds, and they're going to be a pop-up book. But it'll be a really cute story with a pop-up and other little different things that'll go on, and that's what I'm working on right now. So that's what I'm doing, and I'm going to keep on going with these stories, and I just love what I do, and I'm glad that all the people, that all the children and the grown-ups like them as well. So that's all I have to say, and I hope that you guys get a chance to read my stories and hope you like them as much as the children and the grown-ups do too. So this is Mary Randall signing off. Thank you so much for listening to my stories and how I wrote these stories and how I got started in it. So thank you very much.
I would like to introduce you to Diane Hansen. She is our guest speaker today, and she's going to be telling you all about, or mostly about, her wonderfully haunted house. Thank you for joining us.
Hi, thank you for having me, Sandy.
It's all yours.
Fantastic. Hi, everybody. My name is Diane Hansen. I'm the Chief Inspiration Officer, Business and Career Coach behind What Works Coaching here in Carson City. I'm also the proud president of 2031 Hamilton, also known as the Hamilton Healing House. Now, the reason why it's called the Hamilton Healing House is because Joseph Waxler resides there. And no, he doesn't live there in the physical body. He's there in the spiritual.
I think so.
He passed away in 2006, and for all we know, he passed away inside the house because his spirit is still very much there. Now, the issue is, when I first moved into the house, I had a huge football party, and I had it all wrong. I thought he was insane. I thought he was going senile. Lots of things that, generally when you speak poorly about a ghost, they don't like it, and they like to make it known who they are. So he actually took the form of a very misunderstood friend of mine, and it was a repeating apparition. So what a repeating apparition is one that makes 2 or 3 different staged movements. This was very interesting because the apparition, in the form of my friend, who was actually sleeping in the living room at the time, was misshapen. It was over tall, it was over big, and it looked at me and looked out the window. It looked down, and then something rushed by the side of my bed. And this repeated, and it was enough to really wake me up. And I figured out that Joseph and his little white dog still live in the house. Now, Joseph might be remembered from driving around Carson City in his little golf cart with his little white dog. His golf cart was his method of transportation, and as such, he wanted to make it easier to ingress or degress from his house, so he astroturfed everything from the driveway to the backyard. It was all astroturfed, and so people would see him touring around town in his little golf cart and a little stroller with messages going across the backside. He was a philanthropist, and based on the information that I had from my landlord, Dr. Michael Riley, who's a chiropractic, I thought he was insane. So when the football crew over, I really pumped it up that he was just senile and insane. There's a mural in my house that has faces painted into it on the closet door in the living room. There are hurricane shutters on all the windows. The house can be completely locked down. You can see in my mailbox where the bracket used to be, where he used to have a sensor, so if someone opened the mailbox, you can tell them from the outside. So my house is full of features like this, including an office, a home office, that's more of a mission control than a home office. So that night I was scared a little bit into doing some research. And what I found out when I Googled Joseph Wexler, he had started getting mail by my house, by the way. He wasn't getting mail until I started getting tall with this story. He was getting mail from the Met, so I knew his name. So I Googled him and found out that he was a philanthropist who used to do work in Easter Island. He also used to travel with the Metropolitan Museum of Art in New York and do learning trips with them. And those are the letters and emails that I still get to this day. I get plate newsletters in the mail. I also get Scientology magazine, which was very interesting because that didn't come until I got my story straight. So I'm kind of wondering what's going to show up in the mail next. There are several times where Joseph's presence is felt. His presence is felt when I'm studying because he was an academic, and he was a teacher who wanted to teach and learn. So I can really feel him when I'm studying. My house is known as the Hamilton Healing House, and it's because everybody who has stayed overnight in that guest bedroom, which is now rented out to a friend, their lives change. I have had friends get sober in my house. I have friends repair relationships and find love in my house. I have had businesses, ideas that were born in my house. Me, myself, things have happened to align my life to where I operate What Works Coaching full-time. And I do occasional coaching sessions in the house. And especially for those who believe, I'll even pull out my dowsing rods and we'll include Joseph in the coaching session, which is really fun and really cool. So if you're curious, go to www.whatworkscoaching.com and schedule a few minutes with me. I do a 20-minute free session you can schedule, and we can talk a little bit. And if you're interested in being coached, either inside or outside the house, I would be happy to work with you. Thank you so much.
the co-author, we will autograph the book for you, and you can pick out what color of bookmark you'd like to have now. Isn't that something? And your name is?
Vivian.
Okay. Vivian?
Yeah.
Yay! There you go.
Thank you.
And thank you.
It's on the frame. Usually found that out.
And there you go.
Jacob said he wanted to. Jacob says he
How
wanted
fun!
to.
Thank you so much for your interest in the book. There's just full of all kinds of weird, fun things.
Yeah, you'll have a new appreciation of Carson City when it's over with.
Yeah.
Well, I didn't know this, or I didn't know that.
Oh, there you go.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. This is Arlene's and mine third in a series of weird books. We wrote Weird Reno, and then we wrote Weird Haunted Virginia City. It's not a ghost story book. It's about the haunting impressions that life up there has left even to this day. Really? And so we've got other weird volumes that we're going to be writing too. So,
Especially about the cemetery.
Wow. My mom.
our book signing was a wonderful day, and we are happy to be able to present this Psychic Creations program for you to enjoy the day as well.